Hi guys, and welcome to episode 33. Dak and Lan coming at ya. And today we are going to cover the top 3 common mistakes for eating out when you are in a weight loss phase. Now this can be tricky, but not impossible. And I think it depends on, obviously your situation, your relationship with food, and obviously the social gatherings that you want to go to and where you are at in your weight loss phase. But the most common one that we see is definitely, you've got a social event and you start to bank your calories. So, obviously banking your calories can be done in a few different ways. Like, over 7 days, you could, say Saturday night you're going out for dinner and you're going to undereat for maybe six days out of the week to then spend it on that Saturday night.
Which can be an effective, useful tool, but it should be looked at more like a calorie budget than calorie banking that we're saying, I'm going to skim a little bit off the top all of these days, so I've got a little bit of extra. But it needs to be planned. You need to know what you're skimming.
The amounts,
and what you're going to replace it with, 100%. Right? Like, you can't just...
That would be my favourite way. If you have to do it, that would be my utmost favourite.
Definitely the most effective.
I personally think the worst way you can do it is, Saturday night, I've got dinner tonight, sweet. I'm not going to eat any carbohydrates all through the day. I'm going to limit my fat intake, so then I'm going to go out for dinner and eat the fucking world.
Yes. Which, look, it kicks itself off as a problem because you're going to go in there hungry, so you're going to eat more than you would have had you eaten before you went in there anyway. So the calories that you banked, you're probably still going to go over.
You're going to go over anyway. So what is even the point of starving yourself through the day to then just overeat at night?
And then you've got the gastrointestinal side. You're not going to absorb as many nutrients. You're not going to be able to utilize as many of the macros. It's probably going to lead to issues the next day that you wouldn't have gotten had you eaten throughout the day. Then on top of that, most people, if they're going to do something like that, they're going to do it to the extreme. So they'll just not eat the entire day. Which means protein, which we can't catch up on. No. You need that constant supply of protein. Is going to be under for the day, or even if you hit it, it's not going to be useful, right? You're taking it all in at once. We need it spread across the day. So, detrimental to your overall calorie deficit, sure, but also detrimental to your health and well-being. And detrimental to your gut health.
I think it has a much larger negative effect than maybe if we just skimmed just a little bit off each day in a controlled way. So obviously you're tracking everything.
That's it.
In a controlled way. You can go, okay, cool, like I'm just going to, you wouldn't cut just calories overall, including protein, fats and carbs. You would obviously look at your day and go, okay, cool, what do I find easier to manage?
What am I going to eat on the weekend?
Exactly.
Saturday night.
Cut your carbs and just eat fat?
That's it. If I'm going out for a big ass bowl of pasta, I'm going to be consuming a lot more carbohydrates than normal, so cut the carbs during the week rather than cutting out anything else. Also, what's going to affect you more during the week? So if you're going to be training every day during the week, but you're not going to be training on the weekends, you might want to think about keeping the carbohydrates during the week, because it could affect your performance, which affects your output.
Over a social outing?
Exactly.
I just don't think it's worth it.
That's it. So it's looking at what you need. So certain nutrients need to be replaced more regularly than others, and other nutrients need to be replaced at certain times. So we know to facilitate a good training session, we need carbs pre and post training, right? So we need to keep some carbohydrates. We can't just get rid of them, otherwise it'll affect
can't just have nothing.
We know that we have fat-soluble vitamins, so we can't go to zero fats, otherwise we're going to have issues with hormones, D3, all that.
It affects
sort of
more
stuff.
than just calories.
Exactly right.
And I don't think it's really worth it for one social outing. I mean, obviously it depends on your goal. I mean, obviously if you're a bodybuilder, you're probably already planning it quite well with your coach, so I don't think we're really doing this in terms of, okay, bodybuilders, listen to us. It's more so, your Gen Pop who have a weight loss goal, I want to lose 10 kilos in 10 days. Just those people. More so just think about what you're actually going to eat, because you could go out to dinner and still make a good choice.
Absolutely.
You can go out and maybe have a glass of wine and maybe have a little bit of dessert and be okay and not have to bank your calories. You get the fluctuations for a few days afterwards, but if you think you're going to have a more negative approach to if you did bank it and you go, I'll just cut to overeat, then maybe don't. Maybe, banking calories can have
a detrimental effect. And psychologically, physiologically, all of the above. Also things like if you're finding yourself negotiating about what you can have because, you know, you've budgeted this and now you're faced with a decision that's, you know, can I have this, can't I have this?
Whipping out my fitness pal at a dinner table.
Yeah.
When you're out.
Fun.
No.
Not always
Definitely
fun.
not. I don't know. I don't think so. And, you know, in saying that, if you are whipping out your My Fitness Pal at the dinner table, you know, this segues into our next point, accuracy of actual tracking. So there's a few ways you can kind of go wrong with this, whether you're over tracking. So like, you know, you go out for dinner, you have a steak, chips, and a glass of wine. You go, okay, that steak looks about 200 grams, but I'll just do 300 to be safe.
Yeah.
You think you're having way more protein, but also way more fat.
Yeah.
And same as the carbohydrates with the chips or whatever you have with it, the sauces. Like, if you're overestimating, you're effectively under-eating.
Yeah, which in a fat loss phase can be not so bad, but it is if we're under-eating on protein.
Yes.
If you're under-eating on protein, if you're under-eating on carbs or fats that one day, you're probably going to be all right.
Yeah.
But if you're under-eating on protein, you are definitely going to feel it.
Yeah.
And it's going to hamper your recovery, you know, like...
Yeah.
When we're in a fat loss phase or a weight loss phase, that's the most important time to be hitting your protein because that's when you're most likely to lose muscle mass, get injured, So making sure that you focus on that. But the tracking side of things, it's a double-edged sword every which way you look at it, right? So one, you think you're able to track more accurately than you actually are, right? You don't know what they're cooking with.
No.
So you're estimating everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, cooked weight versus raw weight.
Yeah.
If you cook a steak 3 different ways or medium
it's going to
rare,
end up, the weight is going to be different at the end of it. Yeah.
So what are you tracking? Like,
I guess it's about, even if you're wrong, be consistently wrong.
Exactly. Because that will minimize the damage.
But like if you go out for steak and you love steak and it's like your treat meal once a week, if you pick the same one every single time, even if you are so wrong, at least it's consistently wrong.
Well, and you're going to see that you're wrong the first time and be able to adjust for that, right? Like if your weight's going up, you know you're not nervous anymore. So you probably need to address it. But if you're eating something different every time, you don't really know.
It's a little bit more challenging. That's why consistency is so important.
But
I guess as you are overestimating, you know, obviously that has its negatives, but also underestimating. Like, you know, we kind of think that, oh, okay, like if I just say I had, you know, 2 pieces of toast, so like for breakfast, you know, 2 poached eggs, can't really fuck that up. Avocado, you can clearly see it's half an avocado. Yeah. Hash brown, give or take. Yeah. But with the bread, it's like, oh, you know, they were pretty small pieces of bread, so maybe I'll just, you know, cut it. You know, maybe it was only 50 grams of bread, and it's like, oh, I've got extra carbs for the day. But it's
what
like,
about all the butter on the bread?
Exactly. What about the butter on the bread? And let's be real, like, it's, you know, chances are it's not actually what that little bit is. Yeah. And you still ate the food.
That's right. And also, you know, at home, we might cook, you know, we might poach the eggs and just serve them as is. When you're going out to a restaurant, they're trying to serve flavour, right? Like, so they're probably going to add something, and it might just be a tiny drizzle of olive oil or something. But it's enough. Same with the avocado, right? Even the sprinkle of...
Or smashed avocado.
Oh, absolutely smashed avocado.
You can't weigh that.
Cannot track that.
You just got to guesstimate. You just got to guestimate. And while it is a good fat, it is fat.
It is still
it's quite calorie dense.
And in terms of fat loss or weight loss, that matters.
Plays a huge role.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's all the things that you can't necessarily see, like dressings, honey and food. You know, there's all these different things that people will use that add up that you can't track accurately, which is okay if you're aware of it. Yeah. If you're not aware of it, it's a problem. And this is why we sort of say, if you're getting 80% of your food at home,
and that one meal isn't gonna...
It's not going to throw you out.
Just enjoy it. Relax and enjoy it. And if you are someone who needs to track when you're eating out, be realistic. Yeah. Like, you know, if you look at a meal and go, okay, like what ingredients would I put into this? Yeah. And, you know, then you look at what you've put in My Fitness Pal and it's like a quarter of that. Chances are you're not being realistic or true to yourself. Yeah. So definitely just be realistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be honest. Yeah. There's no point otherwise.
No.
But, you know, also with that being realistic, the all or nothing. The all or nothing in regards to tracking when you're out. You know, I've definitely been there, and I've had clients be there where you go out for breakfast, you know, you have poached eggs or avocado or whatever you may have, and you can't track it accurately. So then you go, well, fuck it. I'm just not going to track for the rest of the day.
For the day.
When you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense.
No, but it's the same decision-making behaviour that we have when we eat that first piece of chocolate and then we finish the block.
And you're like, oh,
same.
Yeah.
It's that instant gratification wins over the long run, because with instant gratification, you get the result guaranteed right there and then.
Yep.
With your long-term goal, so say weight loss is your long-term goal, it's not guaranteed, and it's so far away that when you're in the moment, you can let go of it. So it's really important to bring yourself back to that.
Yes.
And not get lost in this immediate gratification moment.
Yes. I think it's really easy to stress ourselves out when we don't, well, for one, if we don't really understand how calories and macronutrients work and the accuracy of it all. I think when we get on our phone and input something and we don't know which one to pick, I think we just really stress ourselves out and go, well, if I can't pick the right one, then the whole day is going to be out. Then I'm going to be overeating, or am I going to be undereating? It's just easier if I just don't track anything.
It instigates this anxiety response where you don't make decisions logically, you make them emotionally.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's going to be off. I mean, the simple fact that people, I hate saying it this way, but it is true. Most people believe that everything they plug into MyFitnessPal is exact, and it's just not. I've had so many conversations with clients where, you know, if you take 10 pieces of chicken breast that are all 100 grams,
they're all going to be different.
Yeah, they all contain slightly different amounts of calories.
Which is okay.
It's fine.
If you use the same one.
If you're consistent. But the fact that level of certainty that people think they're getting out of it reinforces the negative side as well. It does. It tells you that then if you're not hitting the exact macros,
then it's wrong.
Something's going to be wrong.
Then it's wrong. Something bad's going to happen if I can't pick that one chicken breast.
That's it. But
you know, if you go out for dinner and it's untrackable, it's like a fancy little meal that you can't even begin to put in MyFitnessPal.
You have no idea what's in it.
You have no idea what's even in it. And you're like, well, what, are you just going to not eat it?
But also, if you're trying to use MyFitnessPal as this thing that's 100% accurate, you're fooling yourself.
It's just too much.
Because your intake shouldn't be the same every single day if your output's varying every single day. But we use an average because otherwise we drive ourselves nuts, right?
Yes,
if I said to you, all right, Dak, you're deadlifting today, you're benching tomorrow, you'll probably burn more calories on deadlift day, so I want you to have 50 calories extra on deadlift day, 50 less on bench day.
I would have 200 more on deadlift day.
And she'd punch me, so, you know.
Who has time to do that?
That's right, we don't.
No.
So we're all working off a law of averages here. So getting caught up in a gram or 2 grams of fat or 3 to 5 grams of carbs or it really isn't a thing in the grand scheme of things.
I think just, you know, we're going out to be social. We're going out to spend time with the people that we love. And I think if you're going out and you're stressing, like I get a lot of clients who stress, oh my God, I had this social gathering. It's like, it shouldn't be a stress. It should be, you know, fill you with happiness and confidence. And, you know, if you're working so hard during the week and you're killing it, then you should be, you've earned it to be able to go out and just enjoy, you know, be mindful, you know, don't be an asshole. Yeah. But like, just enjoy it, relax.
It's also a really good indicator that you're not actually enjoying your current plan if you're panicking about what you're going to do on the
or maybe the plan isn't for you.
That's right. Yeah. So reassess the weekday plan so that you don't have as much anxiety with the weekend.
Stress you out so much because you shouldn't. Like, no. And I think regardless of you go, at the end of the day, if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, this doesn't apply to you. If you have a specific weight class you need to get into, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you're just someone who wants to lose a little bit of weight or put on a bit of mass, to be a little bit happy or a little bit more comfortable in your skin, just don't stress about the small stuff so much.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you're still going to get there. Yeah. Because if you're perfect 6 days of the week, that one little day where you have an extra teaspoon of avocado or a little bit more of meat or a little bit of wine that you maybe didn't track, like that's not going to fuck up your whole week.
No. And
probably the stress is going to do more damage.
Absolutely. I think that's what we've gotten to now, though, because we do have extreme views on food now. Yeah. And it is psychological, not scientific or physiological. It is all this psychological idea of we want We want a black and white way to achieve an outcome.
But we're not black and white.
No, that's it.
And that is why. We're not black and white. If we were black and white, man, life would be so fucking simple.
So easy.
But it's not. We're humans, and this is just the way it fucking is.
We gotta be real.
Gotta be realistic. But yeah, in terms of obviously eating out in a weight loss phase, you know, don't bank your calories.
Yeah.
And if you are wanting to do it realistically, choose an approach that obviously works with you. Proper planning, and sit down before you even, you know, emotionally think about it. Sit down and go, okay, what is achievable for me to implement? That's the best way for you. Yeah. And, you know, be realistic about when you do go out for breakfast, when you do go out for dinner, if you're going to track, be realistic with the tracking. If not, don't stress about it.
Yeah.
Definitely put the effort into being consistent with the potential inconsistencies.
Exactly right.
And also, all or nothing does not work. Even in this area, all or nothing doesn't work. You know, if you can't accurately track, if you want to sit down and accurately track a meal and you can't, you want to throw the whole thing out, I think you've got more things to worry about than not being able to track a food item.
Balance is definitely the key.
Exactly. If that stresses you out, then you have bigger issues there. But, you know, don't throw out everything just because you can't weigh it exactly to the gram. You know, social outings should be fun. If they are stressing you out, feel free to send us a DM and we can kind of work through anything, or we can share some tips on how we kind of manage that as well. But thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you took away something from it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all the things that we tell you to do each week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.